Chess has always been this weird paradox, right? On one hand, it's this beautiful canvas for human creativity. But on the other, it's a closed system of just pure, cold logic. And that duality brings up this huge, fascinating question that gets right to the heart of what chess even is.
So let's really dive into it. Is chess, this game of truly endless possibilities, something that reflects our own creative minds? Or if you could peel back all those layers of complexity, would you find a single ultimate truth, a perfect way to play that leads to the same result every single time? Could this game actually be solved?
Now, when we say solve chess, we don't just mean getting really, really good at it. We're talking about something much bigger, finding its mathematical certainty. It means knowing from the very first move if white can force a win, if black can, or if the game is just destined to be a draw, if neither player ever makes a single mistake. It's about completely eliminating uncertainty and finding the game's hidden truth.
Okay, so before we can even begin to answer that, we have to face the first and honestly the biggest obstacle there is, the sheer mind-bending scale of the game itself. Let's start with just the positions on the board. The number of unique, legal ways the pieces can be arranged is estimated to be around 10 to the power of 47. That's a 1 with 47 zeros after it. It's an absolutely massive number, but believe it or not, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Right, so that last number, that was just snapshots of the board. The number of possible, unique games of chess, from the first move to the last checkmate, is estimated to be around 10 to the power of 120. This is a number so ridiculously big, our brains kind of short-circuit trying to even process it. And to put that into perspective, look at this. Scientists figure there are about 10 to the 80 atoms in the entire observable universe. The number of possible chess games is just incomprehensibly larger. You literally do not have enough stuff in the cosmos to represent every potential game. The problem isn't just about calculation, it's practically a physical impossibility. So if we humans can't possibly figure this out, who can? Well, let's turn to the investigators who've gotten the closest to cracking this code: computers. And the journey here has just been incredible. I mean, it started with machines like Deep Blue back in '97, which was basically a brute force monster that just outcalculated a human champion. But then the game totally changed with engines like AlphaZero. It didn't just calculate, it learned. It played against itself millions of times and came up with strategies that felt, well, almost intuitive. And today's engines, they're stronger than any human could ever dream of being. But here is the absolute crucial point. Even these godlike engines have not solved chess. They are masters of prediction. They use these unbelievably complex algorithms to make the best possible guess about a move's outcome. But it is still just a guess, a statistical probability. It's not the same thing as a mathematical, rock-solid proof. But while they can't solve the entire game, they have managed to find absolute mathematical perfection in one very specific area. They found a way to untangle one small corner of this massive, tangled web. And that number is 7. Computers have completely 100% solved chess for every possible endgame with 7 or fewer pieces on the board. They're called table bases. And in those situations, there is no prediction. The computer knows with total certainty if it's a win, a loss, or a draw, and the perfect sequence of moves to get there. It's a tiny slice of the game, yeah, but it proves that a definitive solution is possible, at least in theory. So, if we could somehow scale that up from 7 pieces to all 32, what would that final answer even look like? Well, it turns out there are only 3 possibilities. Option 1, white just wins. That first move advantage is a knockout blow that can't be stopped with perfect play. Option 2, the real wild card. Black forces a win, meaning that moving first is actually a hidden trap. Or option 3, and this is what most experts and grandmasters believe, the game is a forced draw. With perfect play from both sides, the game is just perfectly balanced. And this brings us to a more philosophical place. Let's just say we did it. We built some supercomputer that solves chess tomorrow. What would that actually mean? For us, for the game? I mean, really, what would happen to the game that we love? Would all the magic just disappear? Would anyone even bother to play it anymore? Well, the surprising answer is probably not much would change for us humans. And we have a perfect example. The game of checkers was solved back in 2007. It's a forced draw, by the way, and people still play it all the time. Why? Because for us, the value isn't in knowing the perfect answer. It's in the struggle, the creativity, the blunders. A perfectly solved game is basically unplayable for imperfect humans like us.
And that really gets to the heart of it all. We love chess because it's like a mirror. The terrible mistakes, the brilliant moves, the desperate saves, they're all just reflections of our own imperfect, trying human minds. Our errors and our struggles are what give the game its soul.
So maybe the whole quest to solve chess is way more important than actually finding the solution. Maybe the game's beauty doesn't come from some hidden answer waiting to be found, but from this infinite, unknowable space it gives us to explore, to create, and yeah, to fail. The fact that its perfect truth is always just beyond our grasp. Maybe that's the very thing that makes it so endlessly fascinating.